we know that the market just had some correction. So it's recovering from yesterday, but for a day or two, it was a little scary. Yes, it was a little scary. And the features on the GuruFocus website, I think, related to the market risk. And one thing is, if we think the market risk, well, there are several risks. Well, the first is economic recessions. If there's a recession, then the market usually crashes. The first one. The second one is if the interest rate. If the interest going up, usually the market will respond negatively. And the third is the high valuation. If you think the high valuation market valuation is too high, it will be very sensitive to the economic news, and only a little bit of news will break the market. And of course, the recent corrections related to the Japanese yen carry trade. But I think the reason it happened is there's one key reason why it happened is because the valuation was high. If we come to GuruFocus homepage, we have a place. It's in the middle of the screen. It says SP500 GF value, and I think this chart is very relevant. If I expand it to the maximum value full screen, it shows you the fair value of the market as we think, as GuruFocus thinks, which is this black line, which is the fair value, we think. And the blue line is SP500. And the black line is the fair value of that SP500 as we think. So if you look at this here peak, the peak in July, middle of July, and it was about 15% above the fair value. And if you look at historically this value, and whenever it's above between 10% and 20% above the fair value, like it was here and it was here, and like here, it becomes risky. Here was even higher. This was a pandemic time. The valuation went down. So if you look at here, it was even higher. And we had in July, middle of July, it was about 16% above the fair value. And the market was high. When the market is expensive, it's very sensitive to bad news. That's what happened over the past 2 weeks. The news from Japan, the Japanese yen was going up, and then there was a carry trade unwinding. So it caused the recent correction. So if you think what index on GuruFocus, what index the risk of the market, I will see the valuation. We don't predict much of the short-term market movement, but the valuation give you a good indication of the risk of the market. If we look at this Buffett indicator, which I talked many times, Buffett indicator is still significantly overvalued. And also, if you look at Sher PE, the Sher PE, which tells you the same thing, the market is 27% higher than the recent 20-year average. So if you look at this is a Sher PE historical chart, and this red line is where it is currently, the current value, and the 20-year average was about 26, and currently it's 33.7. So the risk is really high. It's very sensitive, and we need to be careful. We need to be more defensive.